Good question. So what got me into guitar was the movie Wayne's World. Party on Wayne.
Personal favorite?
Yeah, something about just he had the cool factor of the electric guitar. And then I didn't do much. I think I got a guitar and I didn't do much with it. But then it was around Christmas Eve, at my grandma's house. My older cousin Mark was looking through my CDs. At the time, I must have been like 13, 14. I had all these top 40 CDs and rap CDs and stuff. But he goes, "Oh, don't listen to this stuff, listen to this." And he gave me a Jimi Hendrix CD. And I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." So then I started borrowing his other CDs, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then there wasn't YouTube back then, but there was like Napster a little bit. So then I started looking up like Muddy Waters and all the blues. So that kind of brought me back in the blues world, and then I kind of noodled around the classic rock, country world, and that's what got me into it. Yeah, I think so Jimi Hendrix was like the first one that brought me into guitar, blues, rock, whatever his vibe is. But yeah, then I learned, from reading magazines and stuff that, he was inspired by a lot of bluesy stuff. So then I started researching the blues stuff, and I soon after found Stevie Ray Vaughan, and that blew my mind with his, just his tone and everything about his sound. And then, so that kind of got me into that stuff. And then, so my older cousin Mark, who played guitar, he was always a couple of years ahead of me as far as playing. So when I'd go to visit him in the holidays, he'd show me some lick that he's working on or a song. And so then I'd go back home for the next couple of months and try to keep up to that guitar riff. And then when I go back to see him, then he had this other cool song or riff that he was working on. So I was kind of chasing him. It kind of motivated me to keep up with him, basically. Yeah, well, I think it's, like it's a niche genre. It's not you don't hear it on the top 40 radio stuff or anything like that. But the nice thing with smaller niche genres, since it's a smaller group, you find more loyal fans in that group. So you find like blues societies, blues clubs, and same thing for other genres like jazz, bluegrass, whatever. So it's a smaller niche, but I think it's kind of cool to kind of find that small pocket of loyal fans and listeners. And then for like the innovators, I think Eric Gales is probably one of my favorite right now. Joe Bonamassa, Eric Gales, Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr. is kind of throwing a really cool, more contemporary, modern, even more of a modern vibe where it's almost not really blues, but like the guitar players or blues guys can really see where the influences come from. So I think it's kind of cool to take something like a traditional art, and you can do it traditional, which is great, but then if you kind of hide it or camouflage it in a way, and then a lot of the other artists can kind of see that, and you're kind of showing how you're paying tribute to that art. For my creative thing, I came in kind of weird where I was like, I came in just as a guitar player. I would fast forward the verses during the lyrics, and I wouldn't even care about the songs, the lyrics, the singing. I just want to get to the guitar solo. Never tried songwriting. But then I started hanging out with more friends that were really into songwriting, and for them it was the opposite. All they cared was about songwriting. So then I kind of like, it's kind of, you kind of, when you associate with different people, you just kind of naturally fall into their kind of, hobbies or whatever. So yeah, so I just kind of dipped into the songwriting kind of recently, the last couple of years, and then I like to let things just kind of come out organically. I try not to force it too much. If some songs come out, that's cool. If I don't like it, or if it seems like work, I just skip it, because music's not supposed to be work to me. Oh man, how much time we got?
Oh yeah.
So the pluses and minuses of the music business. Well, for me. I've always had a weird work ethic where if I'm passionate about something, I'm like a workaholic, 24 hours a day. I don't think about anything else. But if I'm not 100% passionate about something, I'm like the worst worker. I just get tired, lazy, and I just can't. So for me, I'm almost forced to do that. But I know so many musicians that are amazing professional musicians that tour all over the world, but they still have a full day job, like any normal corporate job or whatever, and they could still afford to do all the singing projects. So the positives of having a day job, you can, it's way easier financially to afford to do the artistic projects that you want to do, whether it's music or anything. Once you dive in headfirst full-time, then it's really hard financially. It's really good passion-wise, you're paying yourself passion-wise, but then the financial scale goes down, so then you almost, or sometimes you're kind of forced to do all kinds of different projects. Like if you only want to do originals, now you have to do covers, top 40, so then you kind of lose some of that passion. So there's definitely a balance to it. So yeah, I think you have to feed your financial side and your passion side. So however you can get both of those balanced out is the best way to go. Man, I love Granite Falls. I think I've played here a couple of years now, once a year, down in Main Street. Yeah, I just love the vibe. I love how you guys are supporting music and everything. So I'm all about that. It's such a cool area, and everyone's just so nice. I love these small towns. So I'd be here every day if I could. Ooh, man. Like worst song is in like that people don't like.
Your definition of worst.
Oh man.
What is the worst?
Let's see. There's a song in there somewhere. I'm thinking it's Umbop. Hanson. I know the Umbop, dupidapop, that part, the scatting part. I've done it once, and I've had some friends of mine tell me to stop singing.